Yo, West Coast Wednesdays, everybody. Welcome back. It's your big boy Adrian right here, man. We holding it down on the West Coast. West Coast, West Coast, man. You know where it's at. So there's some problems with StreamYard now. They updated StreamYard, so you can no longer use some of the perks that you had before unless you pay for a StreamYard account. So I'm gonna see about switching streaming services for the next episode, guys. And we'll be back with that great intro. And remember, support US Arc in any way you can. If it's $5, whatever. Share US Arc stuff on your profiles or your social medias, on your YouTube videos. Let people know what US Arc is all about because, man, they're passing some crazy laws. There's some crazy things out there that us as reptile keepers don't really want to see in the hobby. They're approving lists in states that you can only keep certain species of reptiles, and we really don't want any of that. So USARC is fighting to help keep our reptile keeping rights for as many species as they can. And go support USARC. And you're tapping into West Coast Wednesdays with West Coast Reptiles. I'm your boy Adrian right here, holding it down on the West Coast, streaming live from Los Angeles, California. Really appreciate everyone who taps in, and be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, smash the like button. Really appreciate it. So a little update on what I got going on over here. I got a female green tree python that is gravid. So I threw in a nest box a couple days ago. She just had her pre-lay shed. So about a week after her pre-lay shed, I threw in the nest box. I saw her kind of cruising around and checking the enclosure out before I threw the nest box in. So I was seeing like she's kind of looking for a spot to lay. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce that nest box. And I saw her checking out the nest box. So she actually went inside the nest box a little bit and poked her head in there. And it's not till about 40 days after the pre-lay shed or so that I'm going to remove the top perch, and then I will remove all the perches at about day 45 or so, and be hoping for that clutch. And I got 7 ball python eggs in the incubator right now, and I got 2 more leopard gecko eggs. 2 just hatched last night, and I was able to offload 4 baby leopard geckos recently to the local pet store. That was really great. So we're keeping the program going. I got a couple ball pythons. I got 1 ball python looks to be ovulating, so I'm stoked on that. Going to still have some more production coming up, so stay tuned with that, guys. So if you want some trustworthy advice from a new keeper's perspective, I'm a rookie in the game, getting back into it. I'm a lifetime reptile keeper, but just getting into snakes it's almost 3 years ago, I think. Feels like it's been forever, guys, but it's only been about 3 years. But getting some production finally on the ground from some female ball pythons I've been able to raise up myself, and so that's good. I had 3 females. I started out with a breeding group of ball pythons. I bought 1 male and 3 females, and 2 out of 3 of those females have gone so far, and now the third one's ovulating. So stoked on that. One of the females that laid, 2 females that laid, I got 6 good eggs, no slugs, and the other female I got 4 slugs and 1 good egg. So that kind of sucked, but hey, we got 7 eggs in the incubator. It's cool to get a little start going. My first clutch, I had 4 good eggs and 1 slug, and they all crashed in the incubator. I think the eggs got too wet or something like that. And so I switched up the egg boxes a little bit. I put some air holes, and I just passed on the press and seal this time. I'm running a wet chamber incubator anyway, so I don't think the press and seal is that critical. And just being transparent with you guys, 100%, keeping it 100 on the show. If you can learn anything from my experiences, that's great. You know, we're learning as we go, letting you guys know how it goes. Uh, I'm always looking to kind of improve here and there, see what works, and be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment, guys. We got a fire show tonight. It's episode 9 on West Coast Wednesdays. We have Juan backstage. I'm bringing him on from Windy City Morphs. You guys know he's been dropping some heat, man. Juan's been in the game killing it, dude. He's got that fire, man. Looking forward to have a conversation with him, see what he's got going on. Let's tap in with Juan. Add him to the stage. All right, what's up, Juan?
What's going on,
How's it going,
Adrian?
man?
What's going on, everybody in the chat tonight? How's everyone doing tonight?
Very good, man. How you been? How you been, bro? So you got some good news, man? You got some good news cracking?
Yeah, man. Actually, I do. I got some really good news today. Actually, um, I'm working the Stranger. I mean, not Stranger. The Hypo DG puzzle project, right? So I'm heading that direction, and I did a couple pairings that year for that project. And I wasn't even in the monsoon project, and got some news from Charlie today. Apparently, I am in the monsoon project, and I have been for the last 2 years. So I have a breeder male, Stranger Chocolate and Chi DG Hypo that I ran to a couple girls this year for that project, just to get Stranger into the DG Hypo puzzle project. And so I ran them to Hypo head puzzle female, just to get everything hypo in that clutch and with Stranger and Chocolate, and then everything would be had DG, and then I would just have to test for puzzle, right? Um, well, I sent those sheds out, man, and I got the results back. Half and half came back double head DG puzzles. The other was just head DG, obviously. So, um, the person that I got that mail from called me and told me that the sister proved I had monsoon 3 days ago, right? So I called up Charlie right away. Shout out to Charlie, and I'm like, "Hey, Charlie," I'm like, "Hey, bro," I'm like, "You still have those sheds, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I saved my shed." So I told him, "Hey, run the test to two of these babies. If anything comes back at monsoon, it's got to be these two, I think. So if that comes back, I'm like, then we'll know. If not, then I'll send you the shed for dad, and we'll run because I don't want to just shed test the whole clutch, right? I'm like, shed these
Yeah,
two. If these two come back at monsoon, then we could run the rest of the clutch. If they
yeah.
don't, then I'll run dad, and we'll go from there. Well, he got back to me today. He's like, bro, he's like, one of the two came back at monsoon. So now he's shed testing the rest of the clutch. But
Yeah.
dude, and the crazy part is I had those animals listed on Morph Market already. So I took the
All
whole
right.
clutch down, waiting for the other results to come back. So yeah, man, crazy, crazy.
So, so out of the two sheds that you initially sent, what were those animals? Like were they
So so
babies or were they
so
the
we
adults?
no, they were hatchlings. So I shed tested the whole clutch because the whole clutch was 50% head puzzle.
Yeah.
So I shed tested that whole clutch last week. Um, I ran the whole clutch for head puzzle, right? And got the results back. I'm keeping what I'm keeping, and I listed the whole clutch, the rest of the clutch at Morph
Yeah.
Market.
What was
So
the ratio on the puzzle?
it was 4 out of 7. So four head
Nice.
puzzle, three not head puzzle.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, man. I as soon as I found out, I hit up Charlie, and I'm like, hey, dude, you still got because they'll either throw the sheds out or they'll keep them. Charlie just happens to keep them just in case he needs them. And
Yeah.
I called him. I'm like, do you still have the sheds for this clutch? He's like, yep, I still got them.
Yeah.
So he ran those two tests that I'm like, all right, if anything's come back head monsoon, it's gonna be these two, right?
Yeah.
And and that's why I told him like if they do come back, then we'll run the rest of the clutch. If they don't, then I'll just send you the shed for dad, and we'll go from there. But he
Yeah.
did; those came back had one of them came back had monsoon, bro. So I'm like, all right,
Okay.
just test the rest of the clutch for head monsoon, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And
So you
dude,
saw some.
Let me show you that baby real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to show you guys what this little guy is. Hold on.
Yeah. So you saw some markers, and that's like, all
It was
right, these
because
two are.
no, because I told you the sister proved I had monsoon. So I got a call from the guy that I got the mail from, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, the sister proved." So I don't know if you want to run the brother to her. I'm like, "Shit!" I'm like, "Well, I just tested the clutch, man." I'm like, Charlie already had the shed, so that's why I wanted to
But
get him.
like you kind of had an idea. You're like you said like, oh, like these would be the ones.
Check this out.
Yeah, man, that thing's got something funky going on for sure.
So this right here is a boy, and so this is a chocolate. So I had him. Charlie shed tested a proposal, right? Came back negative proposal. So this was just a chocolate stranger hypo had DG, right?
Wow,
Now he's chocolate stranger hypo double had DG monsoon.
wow, man, that's
That's what he is,
insane,
bro.
bro.
Yep. So powerhouse boy right here, man. Just
Dude.
crazy,
So you're
crazy.
gonna hold that back, right?
Yep. So
Yeah.
now, no. I don't know. I don't know yet because
Oh,
I
yeah.
got the. So
The dad, yeah.
the dad is a DG hypo. So the dad is stranger chocolate entry DG hypo head
Okay.
monsoon. So
Yeah.
that's the son, right? He's only
Yeah.
hypo
Yeah.
double head. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him
Okay.
go. He is
Yeah,
gonna be
for sure.
available, but I gotta
Okay.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because you hear that a lot about Stranger, that monsoon's floating in the Stranger,
Yeah, it
right?
is. It is for sure.
Um,
It came with that gene when it first imported into the country. So the original stranger stuff was had moray, had monsoon. So everything that was bred from that lineage, right, was passed off to the baby. So there was 50% had monsoon passed around through everyone that owned
yeah.
stranger. So either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
So there's a 50% chance if you own a stranger, there's a 50%
Yeah.
chance that it's had monsoon. So I would definitely.
Actually, dude, I have a Stranger male, and he's like a legit Stranger, like from John's Jungle over here. I don't know if you heard of John's Jungle
Yes, I do. Yeah.
over here in Cali. Yeah,
Yep.
he's an OG breeder, and I might shed test him for a monsoon because he's like a OG line monsoon. I
Hmm.
mean, stranger. He's an OG line stranger, and I actually have a clutch from him right now in the incubator. I got 6 eggs, so those could be all het month. I mean, they could
Yeah,
be
test them, man.
50%
Just
het
test them.
monsoon.
It
So I'll
If I was
you know,
you, so
should I
so
test?
test up the either what was it, the male? Was
Yeah, the male.
so yeah, if I was you, test the dad, so that way you don't have to
Yeah,
test the babies. If the dad
yeah, I'll
comes back,
test the dad.
then you know those babies, you gotta run test those babies. If
Yeah,
the dad
for
comes
sure.
back not have monsoon, then you don't have to
Yeah,
waste your money running
yeah,
the babies.
yeah. So I'm
So
gonna
in
go
that
ahead and test him.
so in that same clutch, man, I took the whole clutch off Morph Market until I get those shed results back from Charlie for the rest of the clutch. So I potentially have in that clutch three Stranger Hypo double head DG puzzles. Now 50% on Monsoon. So potentially I have Stranger Hypo triple head DG
Yeah,
Monsoon puzzles
yeah, man.
pending
Man,
shed
that's
test.
freaking,
Yeah,
that's mind blowing, bro.
yeah. It just totally
Congratulations,
completely
man. That's
different.
smart. Yeah, great pairing, man. That's why the ball python game's so exciting, guys, bro. People are, talk about negativity and all that shit, man. We keeping it positive over here, bro.
Got
We,
to, man.
you got to surround yourself with positive people, bro, and it never gets old, man.
Yeah, and
Never gets old, dude.
especially with shed testing, Adrian. Now.
Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing, right? Shut testing does accelerate projects, right? It just makes
yeah,
everything faster. I mean, that could be
yeah,
a good thing and a bad thing, right? As far as
yeah.
with a
It's a
hobby,
double-edged sword. It's
but it's here.
yeah,
It's here. We're not gonna get rid of it. So
no,
if you don't use it, you're gonna get left behind, man. So use it and use it strategically for your pairings, right?
yeah,
Because it's there for a reason. And I've seen a lot of people using it, but they're using it the wrong ways, right?
yeah,
I would use it strategically to get your projects I mean, dude, you can literally jump years and years ahead in your projects if you know
Yeah,
how to put your pairings together and use shed testing. You know,
for
so
sure.
yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, I've tested a few, like three animals. I had a lace male that was lace, like 50% het clown. He proved out het clown, and honestly, I think I have a couple lace females I might pair him up to and make some white lace, bro. Like,
There you
that
go.
will be white lace clowns. So
Yep.
now that he proved out with the shed testing, and I had Charlie on last month. I actually had Charlie on my show, and we went down and we talked about the lace, the lace thing. Now that I mentioned lace, you know, uh, the lace shed test came out with
Yep.
Charlie,
Yep.
and I have a couple females I'd like to get shed tested, that
Yeah.
were sold to me as lace, before the
Test.
lace shed testing.
Yep.
With that male, I know for sure that male's lace, but when you start to have combos with lace, it gets a little,
I mean,
hard to ID.
it's here's the thing, man. A lot of people got sold fake laces because they didn't have the real lace, so they didn't really know what they were looking at, right? They
Yeah,
thought it
yeah,
was, but once the shed test came out and they were sending sheds in and finding out there wasn't lace, well, people think it's lace because they haven't seen the real stuff in front of them, right? So you're thinking
yeah,
like, oh, this is a little bit brighter, but is it really brighter? Maybe
yeah,
not. Maybe you just got it in your head. Okay, it was sold to me as a lace, so it has to be a lace. But once you see the real stuff in front of you, man, it's night and day, bro.
yeah,
It's like lace just keeps that animal as it ages. So in ball pythons, right? As a baby, it's gonna look as best as it ever is, right? As it ages, it's gonna lose that contrast. It's gonna lose that just the
yeah,
overall beautiness of that ball python, right? Depending on the combo. With lace, it's the complete opposite. As a baby, it's gonna look its absolute worst. As it ages, it's gonna look at absolute, as it just sheds, as it's growing, dude, it just keeps getting better, literally better and better and better and better and better.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, lace is a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a badass gene though,
Um,
bro.
yeah, it's
Especially because you can double up on it. So, man,
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
The white lace is. You got any white lace?
Oh yeah, dude, I got some. I got
Yeah,
so, dude, when I went to Justin's 2 years ago to his facility, like that was the first time I seen the white lace clowns in person, right? And I seen them as adults, right? 2,000 gram females, 2,500 gram females, and I'm thinking, I'm like, holy shit, man! I'm like, I just, I look at those animals, and then I look at a DG clown, a white lace clown, just a white lace clown to just a regular DG clown. A white lace
yeah,
clown smokes a regular DJ clown out the
yeah,
fucking water, just
for
completely
sure,
out the
man.
water.
Yeah, I love white lace, bro. So yeah, I mean that would be some pairings I'm looking to get into. Like I got a couple lace females, like I said, and um, just to get some white lace shit popping would be
Yeah,
dope.
bro.
So I'm gonna shed test those females because it was kind of like you mentioned, like they were sold to me like, oh, this one's brighter than this one, but
Yeah.
it does have some popcorning. It's a black pastel lace het clown female,
Okay.
and then I got a black pewter hurricane, possibly lace that's het for clown. They're
Was it
siblings.
was it sold to you as a possible lace or as a lace?
One was sold to me as a lace.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
I
him
mean
from
that's
KG. I got him
yeah.
from KG.
Okay, you got it
So
from Dizzle. So
I
yeah, man.
mean,
I just say to whoever did buy lace, obviously, there's jeans that you're gonna get charged a premium, right, for that gene,
yeah,
and lace is one of them. So sometimes it's hard, right? As we combo these animals up, it is hard to ID.
yeah,
But a gene that is gonna be the difference if you're gonna pay $500 or you're gonna pay $3,000 because of that one gene, that
yeah,
that that makes a huge difference, bro. So, in my opinion, right, for the most part, from what I've heard, a lot of these breeders are making it right. To the guys that did sell, if it is a non-lace, they should take care of you.
Yeah.
because it is a lace that it is a gene that you are paying premium for.
Yeah, I definitely paid a premium for the lace,
Yeah, man.
for
So
sure. It
definitely,
was like a selling point, like, oh, look at, you can't find any lace,
yep.
anywhere.
No,
So yeah,
KG's a good dude, man. He'll take care of you for sure.
yeah, yeah. Nah, shout out to KG, bro.
KG's a
On
great dude.
project. Shout out to Elias in the chat, Whiskey Bomb Network.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. And yeah, man, that lace stuff is popping. So even like Austin, Royal Highness Pythons, he was at the Pomona show and he was looking at the Black Pewter Hurricane with me. He's like, bro, I think this has lace. You should get it, bro.
Mm,
I was like, fuck it, I'll cop it.
yep.
And I copped it. And hopefully it proves out. We'll see. I'm gonna shed test pretty soon.
Yeah,
I
shut
just need to. I
I
got some old ass sheds I collected like a year ago from these animals. I kind of want to maybe get another one, throw it in the bag too.
yep.
So next
Yeah.
shed,
Yeah, just wait till they shut out and send, put a fresh shed in there and send it out.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that's gonna be interesting, and yeah, looking forward to some pairings, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely white lace, you can't it's good to have those supers
so
because everything is coming from that pairing is everything is minimum that super, right? So it's good to have those supers in the
yeah,
collection, man. It's a
yeah,
plus.
for sure. So there's no guessing and stuff. What up, Logan? Thanks for tapping in on the live, bro.
So Logan.
So
Yep. No, yeah, man, for sure. Those supers
yeah,
are yeah, you need them.
and that the male that is lace het clown, the single gene lace het clown male that I got from Nick at Renowned Reptiles.
Okay.
Dude, I got that mail for $100 and it was 50% het clown and it proved out, dude. I got
Woo.
a ready to breed male, bro,
You
for
got
a
a
hundred
steal.
bucks. Lace,
That's a steal. That's a
like
steal.
a nice visual expression lace too. Like I almost want to even bring him out right now,
Yeah, that's a
so
good
I can show you.
for $100,
But
man. That's a
let's see.
fucking steal.
Yeah, cause and you see on Morph Market the price of lace shot up, bro. Like
And you know why, right?
it's
It's shot up
yeah,
because
because
it's such in demand. The demand for it is so high right
yeah,
now because a lot of people don't have it no more, right? They found
yeah.
out, well, they thought they had it, but now they found out they really don't got it.
Yeah,
So,
the demand went way up and the supply went down because, and I
uh,
still see a lot of questionable lace on Morph Market, and
mhm.
it's almost like a het monsoon. Like when you're on Morph Market and you're selling a het monsoon, like it's pos het or something. Like, did unless it's paired to a visual monsoon,
Yeah, no, you can't.
like why would you not shed test it? And it's almost like that for lace now, where it's like you're selling a lace, but you didn't shed test it yet, it's kind of questionable, or
Yeah,
unless it came from a white lace, it's tough, like
yeah,
we said, the shed testing, it's like a double-edged sword now. It's like, why didn't you shed, it's like,
you could. I mean, yeah, I feel that yeah, if you're questioning that animal, you should you should test it.
yeah,
But you can see, man. I mean, it just depends on who you're getting it from, and if you
yeah,
feel comfortable buying from that person, and you know that something's gonna go wrong. If something does go wrong, that breeder's gonna take care of you, right? You
yeah,
know that. Hey, that's if something does happen and not be in this animal that I paid for, that dude is gonna take care of me. You know.
for sure,
And
man.
if you for some reason feel that he's not, I'd stay away from that person.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm happy who I got my lace from, and that's a
Absolutely.
big point. Juan, I'm glad you brought that up, man. Just you know, try not to take that shot in the dark with somebody. Just go to the homie, go to someone go to your Patreon group and ask people if they know that breeder. Don't try to snipe when you get in trouble. I've done it and I've gotten in trouble, bro. Is when you try to snipe shit, you move in silence. Nah, bro, fuck all that. Let people know, hey man, I'm thinking about getting this animal. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Like, don't try to move in silence and pull triggers behind fools' backs and shit and try to snipe shit. It ends up biting you in the ass. And be
Yeah.
careful on Morph Market auctions too, especially if you're buying green tree pythons on Morph Market auctions. And make sure you get your animals nido tested before and after shipping if you're gonna buy any green tree pythons for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, man.
it sucks, man, because when you're dealing with it just sucks, right? Because some of these guys are messing it up for everybody else. Because I recently got screwed over, right? And dude,
Okay.
I don't. It's just one of
Yeah,
those
I
things.
think I remember you blowing that up. Do you want to talk about that or?
Yeah,
Uh,
I thought I was buying a redhead clown head exanthic, right? And I bought it because I needed it to move my projects ahead, right? It was a female that I'm like, okay. So when I buy an animal, dude, I make sure I go on that person's social media, and if I've never bought from him, I make sure I go on the social media if he has one, and just to make sure what he's posting or what he's listing, at least if he does have animals in that project, right? That's one thing you can do.
yeah,
Just because if you're buying something from him that hasn't been posted on Morph Market, you can at
yeah,
least go on his social media and see, okay, yeah, he does have these animals. Okay,
yeah. That's what MJ always says. He always says like, go do your homework. Like, there's Instagram now. Like
exactly.
find a little background
So I
at
did my
least.
homework. I did my homework. Absolutely, I did
Yeah,
my homework on this person. But the guy was just a scumbag. You know, he was just one of those guys that's getting out and just trying to scam as many people on his way out. And dude, I
yeah,
bought a redhead clown that I thought was head exanthic, and dude, I'm telling you guys right now, when I buy an animal, I shed test it. I shed
yeah,
test everything, man. I don't care who you are. I'm shed testing to protect myself because I'm not gonna raise an animal, a female, for 2, 3 years, and then I get screwed over at the end, right? So I'm shed testing. I'd rather spend $40 on a shed test than raise a female for 3 years and find out
yeah.
it's what it is, right?
100%.
And sometimes, dude, it's just doing it to protect yourself. That breeder might not be trying to cause any harm, but it might be retained sperm. It might be um, what is that called when the female reproduces herself? Parthenogenesis. So, like I said, right, it can be multiple things that the breeder might not be trying to scam you, but it could just be like I said, retained sperm, parthenogenesis, whatever, right? So you shut testing that animal is just protecting your ass, right? From raising that animal for 3 years.
Yeah,
So I sent her shed out. I'm like, I'm gonna test it for example. All right. I sent the shed out, came back negative. I'm like, okay, this is some bullshit. I waited for her to shed again, send it out again, just to be positive that I didn't send the wrong shed out. Again, negative for exanthic. So I hit the guy up. I'm like, hey man, this came back negative for exanthic. You know, just telling him.
yeah,
You know, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. She's just not exanthic. So I need my refund. Here's your animal back. I need a refund. He just started backpedaling, saying that it couldn't be, and at the end of the day, man, I didn't get nothing out of it. Didn't get my money
yeah,
back. Didn't get a refund. So I just made sure
yeah,
that I did my end and called the guy out. If I
yeah,
can
for sure.
prevent this guy from scamming other people, at least I did my part, right? Because
Yeah,
that fucking guy right there has been scamming people for the last 2 years, and nobody has called him out, bro. If somebody at least
yeah,
would have called him out, it would have prevented him from continuing to scam people over and over and over again. So it just
yeah,
sucks.
bro.
And you know what the messed up part, Adrian, is that Morph Market, right? I contacted Morph Market about the guys selling fake heads, but Morph Market can't do nothing about it. They can't get rid of the guy. They can't ban the guy because they can't prove that the animal is head or it isn't, according to them, right? So they can't. The only thing that they can do is if you buy an animal and you didn't receive an animal. But
All
if you
right.
get an animal and
Yeah,
it's a fake hat, Morph Market will not ban the person. So you
yeah,
just got to do your due diligence at the end of the day, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, man, for sure, bro. And it's tough. It's tough, like addressing, calling someone out. But it's like when you're at a total loss and you got nothing left to lose. Like, so it's like, you
Yeah, no,
know,
I did it because
um,
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm just
yeah,
gonna if I can help someone else from buying animals from this guy and not get
yeah,
scammed, then at least I did my part, right? At
yeah,
least I'm making it known, and people before they do buy an animal from the
yeah.
guy, they're gonna be like, wait, something's up here.
That's
And dude,
that's what I'm trying to. That,
after I called the guy out, I probably got like 10 messages immediately after that saying, "Oh, he scammed me too. He scammed me too." And
yeah,
dude, about a month after that, the ripple effect happened. People started
yeah,
shut testing animals that he sold people to, and all of them were fucking coming back negative, negative for whatever hat they bought it as.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, man.
crazy man. crazy.
Yeah, that's good you caught that. And like I try to help people out too, like on the green tree python side. I know a lot of people are getting into those right now, and it's really easy to get fucked over in that game as well. And
Yep.
that's why like I didn't really know about it in the beginning, but I on every single episode I just tell people like the animal needs to be nido tested before and after shipping. As soon as you get it, nido swab the green tree, unbox it right there in FedEx parking lot, and then walk back into FedEx with your swab and send it out. Overnight it to RAL. You know, have your swabs ready before you even buy a green tree python. You have to buy nido swabs first. So you know, there's so many. You know, there's so much of that shit out there. It's it's hard to call out one single person. But if you just follow those procedures, then there's a good chance you won't get fucked over because people are spending a lot of money on these animals. And if it comes back nido positive, too late because you can't wait too long. After 2 weeks, that's it. You waited too late. It has to be shed tested right there as soon as
Right.
you get that shit. So make sure you guys are nido testing and stuff.
Yeah, crazy,
Uh,
bro.
Trust me, you don't want to go through that shit.
Yeah,
So
you bring a
you
Nido
know,
into your collection, man. It's yeah, not
yeah,
good.
yeah, bro. So some, how you got any clutches in the incubator right now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. We're just barely getting started, actually. So I'm only 5 clutches cut so far, hatched out
All
so
right.
far. So, and I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 12 cooking, and then I got about. I'm waiting for about 20 girls to lay. I'm waiting for 20 girls to lay within
Man,
the next week. Between 1 and 2 weeks, I should have 20 girls laying for me, and then I still have about 10 girls that are, I'm waiting to either pre-lay shed or ovulate. So I'm doing
nice.
about 45, 50 clutches this season.
Wow. Awesome,
Yep.
man. That's insane, bro.
Yep.
That's cool, man. So you want to like run us down your incubation methods, like what, like so, like the female lays the eggs. Like so you get your pre-lay shed, and then how many days after that do you have a formula after they shed?
Yeah. So
Like,
I keep everything on cypress mulch, right? Um, Up until maybe 2 years ago, I started doing. Um, I started once the female has her prelay shed. I started taking them off the cypress completely and putting them on paper towels right after the prelay shed. Reason for that being is once that female lays her clutch 30 days later, right after the prelay shed, then I wash that female up, give her a shower, wash her up, take that smell of egg completely off her, wash her tub, and then I put cypress mulch back in that tub, right? So she's going from paper towels, laying her clutch, to cypress mulch immediately after that. And usually that same night or the day after, she's going right back on food. Before, when I used to have her on cypress, I would just keep her in that same cypress throughout
yeah,
the whole process. And I was having females, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them wouldn't go back on food immediately. I don't know if
yeah,
it was, I don't know what it was, but once I did that, taking them off the cypress after the pre-lay shed and
yeah.
coming back on cypress after they lay, dude, it just changed everything
That's
for
a
me.
great tip, man. I wish you had come on the show a couple weeks ago and share that because I went through the same kind of thing. I had one female, she laid the 6 good eggs, and then I soak them. I soak them for a little bit after they lay, and then I wash them off, so they're not like drinking any soapy water or something like just with my setup. But I just soak them first just to get some hydration in them, and
Mm-hmm.
then I wash them off, with a little soapy water mixture,
Yep.
and then I scrub the tub like right because they move all the cocoa. I just kept them on the cocoa the whole time. They kind of scoot the cocoa away and
Yep.
they lay in that little spot, and I just scrub the shit out of that little spot and
Yep.
put her back in there, washed off, and then she went right back on food like the next day. But this this recent clutch, I did the same thing. I took her out, I soaked her, I scrubbed her down, and I scrubbed the shit out of where she laid the eggs. Maybe
Yep.
put in a little fresh substrate, but she like still she's acting like she's coiled on a clutch still. There's nothing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, they
She's
do that.
still coiled.
Yep.
She's off food. She's still coiled up, and she's still like snapping and shit like she still has eggs. She
Yeah. So
doesn't.
what
So I'm thinking.
what you got to do now is to give her a brand new tub with fresh new cocoa in there, but a
Yeah.
completely different tub, and
Yeah.
you're gonna give her another bath, and then
Yeah.
that should get her
Yeah.
back on food again. But yeah, dude,
Yeah.
once I did that formula to where I take them off the cocoa completely of cypress mulch right after they pre-lay shed. As soon as they lay their clutch, I put the brand new give them a brand new bedding in there, off the paper
Yeah.
towels, and do it immediately that same day or the next day they're back on food.
Yeah. And it keeps the eggs clean too. You
Exactly.
don't get any substrate on the eggs.
I'll
No
stop
chance
straight
of
on
like
them. Yep. It just
extra mold.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, for
No
sure.
cocoa mojo.
Yep.
So
So
so you
so
get the eggs.
yeah. So now so then last year, dude, what I also did was I switched all my eggs over to Orbeez, right? I completely went away from perlite. I tried perlite, I tried vermiculite, I tried straight water, and like I was telling you in the back, dude, for as long as I've been breeding, you always get those clutches where you get the peach fuzz on them, you get the mold, and it always seemed like the eggs were making it. Sometimes you would have one go bad, two go bad, but it seemed like they were barely making it through the whole incubation process, right? I switched everything to Orbeez, dude, last year completely. And when I'm telling you, I haven't had one problem with not even peach fuzz on the eggs anymore. Dude, completely clean eggs. I mean, through incubation and not one mold. I'm no problems with mold whatsoever, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I like the Orbeez, dude. What color you got?
I got just it's a mix. I bought the shit from Amazon. I get it from
Yeah.
Amazon. They're mixed colors, and then this last one they sent it to me. It's all they're blue.
So you got to put those in water for a second, or how do you prepare those?
Yeah. So what I do is I just get a huge Sterlite tub, and I just dump about maybe a quarter of these in there, and I just fill it with water all the way to the top and let them soak in there. So I always keep a huge tub with a bunch in there, just to have that ready. So when a girl does lay, all I just go in there and just scoop them in the 6 quart tubs. So I've always have them ready for whenever I just keep them around. So whenever my girls do lay, I have them around. So yeah, you just let them soak the water, man. Once they soak the water, you just put them on. I put the Orbeez, then I put the egg tray, and then I just put the fucking eggs on top of the egg tray and just press
Yeah,
and seal in the incubator, bro. And then
I'm writing
55
that
days.
down right now.
Yeah,
We get some Orbeez.
yeah, definitely, man. You know what? I've had a lot of breeders reach out to me about the process, and a lot of people have switched over, man. Like Levan from Straight Fire, dude. He's been doing this for fucking 17 years, and he switched everything to Orbeez. When you've been doing this for 17 years and you've been using one method, and you can switch over to a completely different substrate overnight, that takes a lot of guts, right? Because it's
Yeah,
been
bro.
working for him, but he switched
Yeah,
over to Orbeez, man, and they're like, we'll never use anything ever again. They're like, we love it. So yeah, for the
yeah.
most, and everybody that switched to them, dude, it's just everyone
So
loves it.
what's your
Cleaner, man.
what's your incubator temperature?
I incubate at 90.
Oh, all right.
Yep,
I'm
I
at
incubate.
88.
Nope, I incubate
Wait,
at 90.
80. Yeah,
Yep,
because I'm
90.
I'm expecting a green tree python clutch anyway, so um I think you got to keep those around like 87 or 88
Yeah,
or
those are.
something.
I think
So
those are more delicate. Yeah, for ball
yeah,
pythons, you can do anywhere from 87 to 90, 90, 91, and your eggs will still be
yeah,
good. And I've had good success at 90, bro. 90 is what I incubate
yeah,
at, and my ratio for female males has always been out of my 7 egg. So if I have a 7 egg average at every clutch, I'm at like one male per clutch. Some of these I'm not even having males at all, dude. Like last year,
oh wow,
yeah, dude, I think I hit like maybe out of 25 clutches, I hit maybe 10 males, which was
damn,
ridiculous. So I'm keeping it that way. I'm not switching anything. I don't know if it's the temperature being higher, but
yeah.
it's worked for me so far, and I'm gonna, keep it that way.
For sure, man.
Yep.
That's dope, man. That's dope. And so, are you cutting before you see a pip?
So my not doing my eggs usually. I'm usually having them pip out at day 53, 54 is when they're pipping out on their own, and then I just cut the rest of the eggs, the ones that don't pip out. So yeah.
All right. So you wait for a pip,
Yep. I wait for a
pretty
pip.
much. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Dope, man. Dope.
Yeah. So
So
far
you,
it's been good, man. You know, no major issues. Never had any
yeah,
never had any issues with shark jaws or deformities.
yeah.
I think I've had one kink baby, and that was last year. It was one kink baby out of 24 clutches. So far so good, man. You know,
Yeah, that's
knock
good,
on
man.
wood.
Happy to hear that one.
Yep, knock on wood.
Um, so do you have an ultrasound?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yep, I
okay.
ultrasound, man. I definitely ultrasound. That's.
Yeah,
I feel like when you're breeding at a scale, um, an ultrasound. I mean, dude, a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't use it, and I don't think you need it if you're only doing if you're doing one male to two females, three females, because all you got to do is just put that male in there once a month
yeah,
until you get eggs, right?
yeah,
But if you're using one male to 10 females, you need an
yeah,
ultrasound, man. You
yeah,
need an
for sure.
ultrasound for sure, because you need to be precise with your pairings, and you need to know where those females are at with their
Yeah,
follicles. So I definitely an ultrasound is a device that I would recommend anybody to have for sure.
yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking, man, because on this last clutch I just got, I had four slugs and one good egg, and I'm like, man, did I like run that male kind of thin? Because I was pairing them up to like
Yeah,
maybe three.
that's another thing. If you're breeding one male to a lot of females, the sperm count on those males can come down, man. It's like it's an animal. It's like a
Yeah,
dog. It's an animal that their sperm. Yeah, they'll still have produced sperm, but their sperm count will be low. And especially if you're
yeah,
running them every month to various females because you don't have an
yeah,
ultrasound, that
yeah.
sperm count is gonna be low, bro. So it's gonna produce slugs, non-fertile eggs. So
What's up, DJ? Thanks for popping in, bro. Hope you're doing good, my guy.
so
Good
DJ.
to see you.
Yeah, dude, an ultrasound is yeah, bro. I mean, if you don't, if
Yeah,
somebody, like I told you, right, you don't need it. A lot of back in the days, people weren't using it, right? But if you can get your hands on one, buy one, man. They're
yeah,
$1,000 on Amazon. Those are perfect. Get one of those, man.
yeah, for sure. That because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing that like once a month thing. Um,
Yep.
and it's
I know.
working for me now. I've gotten three clutches so far. I got the fourth one on the way. It's working, for what I got.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
working.
Absolutely. You can do it. You can. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, if you know how to palpate, that's another plus. You know
Yeah.
exactly what how to pulp. I don't know how to palpate, man. So
No,
I'm
I
not even
don't know
gonna
how to
try
do
that.
that shit.
I'll bust
Yeah.
my ultrasound out and go that way.
Yeah, that's one thing like
Here's
I heard.
another
Yeah.
little gem that I'm gonna throw at you guys. I know that a lot of people don't want to make that purchase because the one on Amazon is $1,000. That's the one I have, right? The one that Breeder Circle has, that's like $2,500 if I'm not mistaken. People want to buy that one because of the foot pedal, right?
Yeah.
And the reason they want to go with that one is because when you're ultrasounding a female, right? They're like, oh, well, we need the foot pedal because if it's only one person, you gotta freeze on the follicle, right? So the foot pedal would be the way to go. Well, dude, on that $1,000 ultrasound from Amazon, you don't need a foot pedal. A lot of people don't know this. If you have the contact from Amazon, all right, there's a button on that ultrasound. If anybody has any questions, they can message me. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. You can literally ultrasound your female, right? You do your ultrasound on your female, scanner, do whatever you got to do. Then you put the female down, you put your probe down, then you're going to hit the freeze button, all right? So the freeze there are going to be no follicles on the screen, right? Well, then there's a button on there where you can rewind back your ultrasound
Mm.
that you just did.
Yeah.
It's like a minute. It's like a minute rewind to where you can go
Okay.
back a full minute and literally go on that whole ultrasound that you just did on that female. You could
Yeah.
rewind back the whole thing
Oh.
and just freeze on the ultrasound on the follicle that you want to measure. A
Oh
lot of
man,
people didn't
dude,
know that, man.
that's
They
a
were like,
fucking gem, bro.
people didn't know that,
Jeez,
and that's the thing.
dude.
Right? You're wasting, you're literally spending an extra $1,500 because of a foot pedal that you never even needed in the first place.
Wow,
See what I'm
man,
saying?
that is a straight gem, Juan. Dude, big salute
So
to you,
a lot
dog.
of people don't know
Hell
that,
yeah, dude. That
and
is some G shit right there, bro. Just changed
whatever.
the game, bro.
Yeah, a
Juan
lot of
over here
people don't know
dropping
that, bro.
gems, bro. We
Hey,
got the high level content. Smash that fucking like button for the homie dropping
hey,
gems on the
hey, you
show,
know what's
dude.
crazy, Adrian? That I know a guy. Um, he's a guy from Husbandry. I forgot his name. He's had an ultrasound. That ultrasound that contact for about 5-6 years, and he didn't even know that button existed.
Wow.
He's like, I didn't even. He's like, I just freeze and do. He's like, sometimes I'll have to have my wife come in here and freeze for me because I
Yeah,
got to make sure it freezes on that follicle. I'm like, bro, I'm like that. You see that little playback button right there? You
yeah.
press that, and then you use the little circle thing and the the roller to rewind back. He's like,
Wow.
holy shit, man. He's like, I've had this thing for 6 years, didn't even know this that existed. I'm like, there you go, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's insane, man.
Hmm.
That is insane, dude. That's great. So yeah, man, I'm just pairing like so I heard someone they got their first lock from their ball python and I'm just letting them know like, hey man, you got a ways to go. Like one lock isn't much, dude. You know, it takes multiple I mean, unless you got an ultrasound, like
Yeah, if you got an
let's
ultrasound, 2 locks. That's what you
two
need.
locks.
2 locks.
Okay.
One at
All right.
12. What the hell just happened? What was that?
I think you did like the peace sign and
Oh, come balloons come
like it
out.
has the yeah. I know.
So, so with an ultrasound, I do 2 locks per female. One at 12. All right. So it depends, right? If it's a first time female, if it's a first time mom, right? Never been bred before,
Yeah.
virgin. I want to give them that starter lock to get them going. Okay.
All
So
right.
I'll give them a starter lock at the beginning of breeding season where they won't even be they won't have follicles, or they'll be little tiny little marbles. I'll put a starter lock on them, then I'll ultrasound them in about a month, see where they're at. I'll do a second lock at 12, and then I'll do a third lock between 24 and 28 millimeters, and that'll be it. And if it's a female that's already a proven breeder, just 2 locks. One at 12, one at 20, between 24 and 28, and that's it, man. That's all I need.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Dropping straight gems, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, that's pretty much,
Yeah.
that's why, bro, like with an ultrasound, it's just so efficient, right, with your breeding, because you know
Yeah.
exactly where that female is at, man, which is
Yeah,
important.
right now I'm just pairing like once a month
Yeah, I mean, that's the
until
way to do it.
the
Just do
female
it.
goes off food or ovulates. Like I see an ovulation or she goes off food.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I think I've seen some ovulations, but they haven't gone off food. Have you ever seen that where they'll still
Usually,
eat?
yeah, nah. Once a female ovulates, usually they'll go off for food a whole month before they ovulate.
Yeah.
My females, for the most part, are going off of food once they hit that 20 millimeter mark.
Yeah.
Right at 20 is when all my. I mean, I'll get those ones that'll eat all the way up to like 25, 28, and
Yeah.
then they'll stop. But for the most part, 90% of my females are all going off food once they hit 20. Once they hit
Yeah.
20, they don't want no more food, dude.
Yeah, that's how it was with my green tree. I got like 3 or 4 locks out of her and then she went off food and then she ovulated. I'm like, oh shit, she went off food because she's a Beox, so she eats like crazy. And when
Yeah.
she didn't eat, I was like, oh shit, I think it's gonna happen. And now
Nice.
she's sitting big and fat right now,
Oh,
and I'm
she hasn't laid for you yet?
no,
Okay.
she's no. This is I got her off Craigslist like 6 months ago,
Okay.
maybe more. I've only had her like 8 months,
Oh,
and I had a male like around the same time I got him off Craigslist too.
so
Both Nido negative, and I paired them up and they locked, and now I'm I'm possibly, I'm talking, it's super superstitious with the green trees. You're not supposed to talk about shit, but
right. Yep.
hey, bro.
Our green tree pythons 60 days, same as ball pythons or more. Or
Nah, they're shorter. They're like 49 days
oh wow.
incubation. Yeah, they're like they pip on like 49 or 50.
No, that's dope,
Yeah,
man.
it's and they lay a lot of eggs too.
Yeah,
They'll lay like
seen
12
that.
eggs.
That's
You
dope.
know, like off the rip. Like you could. I've heard on MJ show recently they had a high level discussion, and I heard that the highest clutch was like pushing 40, almost
Oh,
40 eggs or something.
yeah,
Someone got like 30 eggs.
the big
Yeah,
girl.
it's pretty cool, pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
But
dope.
some other genes you're working with, bro. You're working with paint over there.
Yes, sir.
I saw you got an animal from Miguel a while ago, like a black pastel hypo, uh, double het DG clown or something like that. What was that mill? Did you pair him up, or how's that mill doing? Or he
Which
was a clown. He was a black pastel hypo clown.
so no, the
Uh,
one I got from Miguel was 3 years ago. It was 2 years ago. It was black pastel hypo clown hat DG. Yeah,
all
he's
right.
gone. I sold him. I sold him last year. He's
Oh, okay.
yeah, he was replaced by one of his babies, which is
Did okay.
but
So he had
yeah, yeah,
some
he
clutches for you.
yeah, and that was 3 years ago when I got him. But yeah, he was he did good over here. But yeah, he's been replaced. He was sold last year.
Nice,
But yeah, man,
nice.
yeah, for sure. Paint is one of my projects. I'm working the hypo clown paint and the hypo krypton paint route, right? So towards that triple, and then I'm taking the paint to the hypo puzzle. So hypo puzzle paint, and then the DG hypo paint. So that's the way I'm taking
Perfect.
those three, those three
Yeah,
directions on the paint project for sure. And yeah, man, I mean, paint is one of those um, projects where it's still so much work to be done with it, man.
yeah,
See,
yeah. I
we've
really
only
like paint.
so much, yeah. It's a dope gene, man. It's
Yeah, it
yeah,
reminds me of like white lace or something.
yeah, it's a dope,
Cosmos.
yeah, it's a dope gene, man. Especially when we start to get these incomplete dominance in there, more stacked paint combos is when I think people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Like
for
this,
sure, man.
because only so much has been done with it. So I think once we start seeing those stack combos, and people are gonna be like, "Wow!" Like
Yeah,
holy shit, yeah.
yeah. I like a hypo puzzle paint. It has a nice ring to it. Puzzle and paint sounds like really good together.
I got a
But
female.
puzzle.
I
I
got a
like
female.
puzzle.
I got a female that should be laying for me here soon. It's a black head paint, head hypo, and I bred her to the leopard yellow belly hypo puzzle.
All
So I
right.
should be hitting black head yellow belly leopard hypos, double head paint puzzles.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So
that'll
you're
be
working on a lot of building blocks. Like what's your breeding strategy right now? You're making some building blocks, or you're
you have
building
to,
up your
bro.
heads. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to absolutely. You can't. I don't breed for now. I breed for down the road, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to push. I'm at least for me. I'm pushing my projects down the road. Um, yeah, I can use that female and make badass, black hat hypo paints or black hat paints at hypos, right? I can make
Yeah.
those, but I don't want to make just paints or hypo paints. I want to be able to hit hypo double head with codons in there.
Yeah.
So when those babies are up to size in 2-3 years, dude, I'm not just hitting. Yeah, I'm sacrificing that female right to get down the road, Adrian. But
Yeah.
guess what, dude? I'm sacrificing that female right now. I'm not gonna be hitting paints, but guess what, dude? In 3 years, you'll be sitting happy here hitting hypo puzzle paints with black
Yeah.
cat and yellow belly and orange dream and just
Yeah.
crazy shit.
Yeah,
So
bro.
that's the way I breed. And dude, it just especially with shut testing now, man, like just crazy with
Yeah.
some of these. some of the stuff we can do and some of the
Yeah.
breedings that I can do now. As to before shed testing, I wouldn't even be doing some of these pairings.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So yeah,
you know that you're working the high-end recessive projects, it's really worth it for you, to do the shed testing.
absolutely,
You're really getting your money's worth out of that shed testing.
absolutely, man,
So
absolutely.
yeah, there's levels to the game, bro. And have you produced any paints yet?
I have not produced any paints myself. Nope. This season, I could have because I got 5 females, but
Yeah,
I didn't. I didn't want to make any paints, dude. I wanted to push my projects farther, right?
yeah.
So I got. Here, I'll show you. Let me show you. I don't know if I've ever shown this female on a live, but you'll be the first one that I'll ever show this female to anybody off on a live, bro.
Appreciate that, bro. Smash the like, guys.
So exclusive for my boy Adrian. So this female here is a lace paint. That's
Yeah,
all she is, bro.
insane, bro.
So a lace paint.
Jeez.
And I bred
Wow.
her to the yellow belly lace clown. So you already know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, white lace
White lace, yellow belly,
clown paints.
double head paint clowns. That's
Wow.
what I want to hit out of
Man,
this. White lace, yellow belly, double head paint clowns.
that's all that is
Well,
lace and paint.
she's a lace paint. Yep, that's all she is, bro.
And that crazy dorsal stripe, man.
So,
That thing's awesome, bro.
so yeah, like I said, yeah, I could have made paints this year, absolutely, but I
Yeah,
didn't want. That's not my goal, man. My goal is down the road.
yeah. I love paint, dude. Super excited about paint. See where you take that project, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, like puzzle. I'm still like I do really like puzzle. I'm still just kind of unsure about it. Like puzzle and paint. Like I hope the paint overpowers the puzzle a little bit.
Well,
Puzzle seems kind of so overpowering sometimes.
here's the thing, bro. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen the cryptic paint. Have you seen the cryptic paint?
No, I haven't seen a lot of stuff. I kind of fell off on my ball python
So
shit thing.
the cryptic, right, is similar to puzzle, right? As far
Okay.
as
Yeah.
white eye band, the head stamp, the neck
Yeah.
pattern. The only thing that differentiates from the cryptic to the is puzzle is going long ways, and cryptic is going up and down, right? So
Yeah.
the cryptic paint is a crazy animal, bro. It's been hit, right?
Okay.
So puzzle paint is gonna be retarded. When I tell you it's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy, it's gonna be crazy. So once I saw the cryptic paint, I knew exactly which direction I wanted to take the paint to because I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit, man, that shit looks crazy. So yeah, bro, we're just slowly but surely, chomping away
Yeah.
at it. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
we'll
not
see.
trying to hate on puzzle. It's not like I'm trying to talk it down because I don't have it. I had some puzzle and I let them go just because it didn't work out with my. There's just too much. They are great eaters. One thing about puzzle, they're great eaters, man.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just like if I was to get into recessive, like I just don't think like puzzle would be on the top of my list. Like
Yeah, to each
it's
his own,
tough.
man.
It's
That's what's so badass about this industry, right?
yeah,
You can work with whatever you like, man.
yeah. I do like the head stamp, the eye stripes. I
Yeah.
really like that about puzzle.
Hmm.
But I got to see some more stuff. Maybe there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen, like that cryptic puzzle that you're talking about. I'm gonna
No,
go
the
look for
cryptic
one of
paint.
those.
Paint. Yeah,
Oh,
cryptic.
oh, cryptic paint. Oh, I thought you meant cryptic puzzle.
No,
Oh,
no, no,
okay.
cryptic paint.
All right.
Yeah, no, cryptic
My
paint
bad.
was bad, bro. That's why I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
the puzzle paint's gonna look even
Oh,
crazy.
okay. All right. Got it. Got it. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Excited for that paint stuff, man. And then now
Yeah,
you got monsoons too. So did you have a paint mail? Do you have a paint mail?
yeah. I got to paint. I got to paint head hypo breeder male. That's my breeder.
Nice. Okay.
Yep, and I ran him to a bunch of stuff this year. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
uh,
think I saw that mail. I think I saw you post him. Not I was kind of looking at your Instagram before the show.
yeah, I
I think I
bred him
saw that.
to a bunch of stuff this year. So I'll be with him. I used them to, dude. I used them to really push my projects down the road.
Yeah.
So I'll be making like hypo combo, double head paint clowns, hypo combo, double head paint puzzles. Like I use them for a lot of those double girls that I got in the rack. Those, yeah, man, yeah.
What's your male to female ratio, one?
So it depends, right? Some males, like for that paint head hypo male that I got, like he saw like 12 girls this year, right? And
Yeah.
then I have some males that are only seeing three, four, five girls. Um, but yeah, for example, like that paint head hypo, right? He's about 1,000 grams, and I spread him to 12 girls. But to each one of those girls, all he took was 2 locks. So if you think about it, that's 12 times two. That's 24 locks in within a 6 month period. Which isn't bad. But if I didn't have that ultrasound, dude, I'd be
Yeah.
pretty worried because he did go off food. But
Yeah,
guess
for
what?
sure.
He went off food, but I'm only using them, for each female. 2 locks, precise locks, and they're
Yeah.
all going for me.
And
So
sometimes when they go off food, that's when they breed the best.
they
They're
just go
fucking
off food
ready to
because,
go.
yeah, they're in breeding mode. They don't
Yeah.
want nothing to do with food. They're like,
That's how my male green tree was. He went off food, and I'm like, all right, maybe he wants to do it. So he went and did it. And so that's a sign you kind of look for when they're cruising and refusing on the males, the green trees. Pair them
just
up.
they want to breed.
Um, and I think I timed it just right, bro, because my female took.
Yeah,
And
absolutely,
but
man.
but do you have like a number, like male to like female ratio that you got over there?
Yeah, well, like I said, right? It just depends on the male. Like I said, that guy saw 12, and I got for the most part, I try to do like 1 to 5, 1 to 6 females, right? Unless it's a really really powerful fucking male that I really want to spread to a bunch of girls, then it's gonna
Yeah.
be more. But for the most part, I try to keep it one to five,
Yeah.
1 to 6 around that area.
Well, I mean, like how many males do you have in your collection versus females?
Oh, you mean the how many males to
Yeah.
females I got? Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're asking me. So I have about, let me see, 80. So I have about 100 girls and about
Yeah.
22 breeder males.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great ratio, man.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm like I got like almost a 50-50 ratio. I did step my female numbers up a little bit, but I'm probably 40-60.
Okay.
And because I'm just trying to get like some clutches out of some of the, I got building blocks.
Right,
So
right, right.
once I get those building blocks and I get a male to replace, maybe a couple males or so, um, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm a little male heavy, and a lot of my females aren't even up to size. So, so part of me wishes it's crazy, man, the ball python game, bro, because like I would go to a show and I'm like, oh, I can't afford the visual, so I'll just get the hat. And
Right.
then I go to the show a year later, and now they got the visual for less than the price I bought the hat for. And it's like, what do I do? Just sell the hat and then go buy the visual? It's like,
So,
man, crazy, bro. Like,
I mean, in that instance, right? You can look at it that way, Adrian, but you don't really have to. If you start looking at it that way, is where you're gonna really start to,
yeah,
second guess yourself.
yeah. It's like,
So I wouldn't even look at
uh,
it that way because projects are always in following year, right? They're gonna evaluate, right? So don't look at it that way. Just look at it. I bought the mill this year. I know it's gonna lose value for the next season to where you might be able to get the visual for the same price. But guess what, dude? That whole year you can wait, but then you're a year behind, right? So if you
yeah,
start looking at it like I'll just wait till next year to buy the visual for this much, but guess what?
yeah,
You just lost a whole year on being
yeah,
able to breed that hat to push your projects ahead, right? So
yeah,
don't look at it like that. Just look at it like I'll be able to get this mail. If you can get the visual the following season, great, right? You can get it if you need them. But for the most part, you might not even need them no more because you might have hatched something out even better from that hat that you bought.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it, man.
for sure, man. For sure. Wow.
For sure,
So,
bro.
do you have any, like, so other than that stranger monsoon, do you have any other things that might have monsoon in them? Do you have any monsoon in your collection?
Well, I got straight. No, so that dude, I wasn't in the project. Like I told you, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't in the project. I mean, that's the only one that I know is Het Monsoon now.
So now you're gonna hold back some of the females that
So
are
yeah,
monsoon.
yeah, because I was holding back hypo. So I was holding back a Stranger hypo double head DG puzzle. So if she comes back triple head DG monsoon puzzle, I'm still gonna hold her back because I'll just have to work the monsoon in there now, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
So, um, but I do have more Stranger in the collection that I am gonna test for monsoon because, like we said, right, if you do have Stranger in your collection, it's 50-50 chance that it's either head or it's not. So I
yeah,
gotta test some animals now and just figure out what I do have in those.
yeah. And I mean, even if you've and like say if those males prove out, then it's like, have you had some productions that are females that you already have
Yeah,
held
I
back?
already have females
You know?
from him that I have raised up, so now I gotta test all those animals. And not only that, dude, I've sold animals from him. So now I
Yeah,
gotta track down my customers and just let them know, hey,
yeah,
the Cyrus had monsoon, so
yeah,
that animal that you bought from me because yeah,
yeah. Do that, bro. That would be awesome, man. People would be happy to hear that for
yep,
sure.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, man. So what other high level stuff you got going on, bro? You're working Cypress and
Oh
all
yeah,
that stuff, like
I love my Cypress, man.
what's
Cypress, yeah, one of my favorite codons for sure.
yeah,
Cypress, Hurricane. Hurricane's my favorite. Incomplete Dominant. You know, the super is crazy.
yeah,
So I try to, obviously, I love those incomplete dominants where you can super them
yeah,
because it just makes that, it just takes those, your projects to the next level when you can hit a super and then hit those recessives along with your supers, right? Like that's major
yeah.
for me.
Like
Um,
Lace, Hurricane.
Rays,
What's some
Hurricane,
other like Blackhead, maybe Super
chocolate,
Blackhead,
chocolate, bro,
Super
blackhead.
Chocolate.
Those are big ones, bro. Super chocolate is amazing. Super Wookie's amazing. Super hurricane, white lace. I mean, bro, like like super red stripe. Like I love red stripe. Red stripe's one of those jeans where I love red stripe. Super red
Yeah,
stripe. Red stripe is nice. Super red stripe is crazy, bro.
yeah.
So I just love those jeans that you can super right.
What
It's just
about Redhead? Can you Super Redhead?
you know what? I haven't seen a super redhead. I do have redhead. I haven't seen a super. I think somebody produced one last year, or they thought they did. I don't know if that proved out to be super or not. But I think people haven't been pairing to make supers because, again, people don't want to sacrifice that girl to make a super redhead. They'd rather
Yeah,
take that redhead clown female and take it to a recessive, another
yeah,
recessive, so they want to make redhead clown head DGs
yeah,
instead
for
of trying to
sure.
make a super redhead clown. So
Yeah.
I think we might, find out here within the next year or two if there is a super redhead or not.
What up, Post Malone? How
I
you
hope
doing,
there is
bro?
though, man. I hope there is because that shit would be dope. I love the redhead gene. That's one of those genes where, by itself, it's so, it's you're like, well, it's like any other gene, bro. By itself, for the most part, they're nothing. It's when you combo it up. It's when you start to stack it. You're like, holy shit, that shit
Yeah.
is nuts.
Yeah, and that's like we kind of touched on earlier. There's so many different avenues you could go with your projects. You know, you want to go for the super, or you want to go for the recessives, build up some hats.
Yeah,
Just man, it just keeps your mind going, bro. There's always next year. I'm in love
absolutely.
with hypo right now, bro. I had a clutch that I was hoping to get some hypos from, and it crashed in the incubator. And I think I hit one. I hit a GHI blackhead hypo. It looked like it was dead in the egg, and I was really looking forward to that clutch, bro. Because a
Mm,
lot of my pairings have pastel right now.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah. Hypos
but
is
yeah,
shit.
man, hypo, bro.
I
Hypos
love
is
hypos,
the
bro.
shit. Like whatever
Yeah.
you just showed that hypo stranger. What was that you just showed that?
The baby right now.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
baby.
that's a chocolate stranger hypo double head DG
Yeah.
monsoon. Yeah, that thing
Man,
is
that thing was beautiful, bro. Man,
that thing is awesome.
I love hypo right now. I
Yeah,
can't get
hypo.
enough hypo, dude.
Yeah, hypo is one of those recessive that it took a backseat to everything, right? For the longest, people didn't want it,
Yeah.
and ever since I got in, dude, I loved it. I love
I want to see,
you know,
dude. I want to see hypo in everything, bro. Like it
it
makes
took a
everything.
it took a backseat to everything because I think people were like, "Oh, that's a cheap recessive, right? Like we don't want that shit."
Yeah.
But dude, look what's happened to hypo in the last year and a half, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants it. It's shot up. Hypo is
Yeah.
more expensive than DG now, so
Yeah.
and it's a must have in your combos, right? Because it's just gonna make everything better, bro. I love it. When I first got in here, I loved the hypo. I like DG, and I stacked
Yeah.
up on my DG hypo combos because I knew that I wanted to work off that palette, Adrian. Right? I'm
Yeah.
like, because I could take a DG hypo female combo and just breed it to any recessive project that I got, triple, quads, whatever, right, doubles, and just work off that palette, dude. Like, man, it's
Yeah.
just
I
never end.
love I love how hypo complements the darker combos so much, but like I feel like with DG it brightens them up too much. I like I ain't trying to hate on DG. I do have some DG in my projects. I don't have any visual DG yet,
Right.
but like I look at DG almost like a recessive pastel, dude. Like cuz it makes everything so like black and yellow, like,
Well, it just depends, right?
you
I
know.
think I think it also plays into the quality, Adrian. Right? Now
Yeah.
you get into the quality of what you're
Yeah.
buying, on what you're breeding, on what you're, on all that. I think that all takes into effect because, like,
Yeah.
dude, like I love hypo, right? But if I take that same hypo combo and you add DG on top of that, like it just takes it to a complete different level. Same thing with DG. If you just take a DG combo and you add hypo to it, it just takes it to a complete whole different level. Like it's just when you have those two recessives stacked on top of each other,
Yeah.
like it's just crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
MJ's got a really nice line of DG. I think he got it from Mark Bailey. He has some sick like OD Firefly DG clowns, and those are the nicest like DG
Bro,
I've ever seen,
I
bro.
produced last year. I think not to be cocky or dude. I think I produced the best looking DG hypo combo produced to date. And the offers I got for that female Adrian, like you'd be like, why the fuck would you not take that offer one? But
Yeah.
it's just a female that I couldn't. I wanted her in my rack because.
Like, was that a holdback or the
Oh
breeder?
yeah, bro, it was a holdback. Can I show her?
Yeah, yeah. Please do, man.
Let me show her, man.
It's a banger episode, bro. West Coast Wednesdays, episode number 9. Thank you everyone for being here and kicking it on the stream, bro. Hope everyone's having a good night.
So when this thing came out the fucking egg, Adrian, I was like, wow, right?
Let's check this thing out. Damn. Hypo DG.
And all she is orange stream. Is that? Hold on, let me see. Let's turn the room a little bit. So all she is OD Cypress chocolate, DG hypo, head cryptic. I don't even think the
Man.
camera's picking up her colors, bro. But she's literally blue
Yes.
and purple. I don't know if the camera's picking it up,
Yeah.
but she's literally blue and purple.
Yeah, I'd love to see the cryptic in that too, man.
Yeah, she is nuts, man. Like, and like I told you, the offers I got for her, you would be like, why would you turn that down? But it's just one of those girls where, I have to keep her, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, MJ's got some really nice DG over there too, man. Juan's got some killer animals over there. There's levels to the game, guys. So just buy with
Yeah,
your
bro.
eyes, man. Buy with your eyes.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it, man.
How
I
do you
love
get
it.
such a nice collection, Juan?
It's just having patience, man. Having patience and breeding, the right stuff together, putting the right stuff together, and just being patient with it. That's the most important part I think about doing this is patience. You got to raise up
Yeah.
your girls, breed them, right? It takes 6 months from the time you start breeding to when they lay the clutch. So you're patient for 6 months, then you got to wait for them to, you know, have the clutch. Then you got to wait 60 days for them to, come out of the eggs. Bro, it's just about
Yep.
patience, you know. That's all it
Yeah.
is. If you're patient in this game, especially with the market right now, you're gonna win,
Yeah,
man.
man.
But you just gotta be
Yeah, that's a
patient.
good point, bro. Like, how's the market for you, bro? Are you selling animals right now?
Yeah, absolutely,
Oh,
man. You know, it's,
yeah.
I think it's just you know, the market is where it's at, but you just gotta be able to adjust, right? And you just gotta be able to look at the market, Adrian, and be a student of the game, right? And what I mean by that is you study the market, you see what's selling, you see what's not selling, right? Because you
Yeah.
can go on Morph Market and see what's been sold, what projects are hot, what's really selling good, what's just sitting on there for months and months. And you could really just strategize off of that because guess what, dude? These at what is that? What is that? Um, expression they use out there? Good wheat sell itself, right? So good
Yeah.
animals are going to sell itself. If
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
producing good animals and shit that hasn't been hit yet, and animals that people want, those are going to sell, no doubt. It's
Yep.
just stuff that is being overproduced over and over and over and over again. Guess what,
Yeah.
dude? You and 1,000 other breeders are trying to sell the same animal. Do you see what
Yep.
I'm saying, Adrian? So you
Yeah.
just got to be able to, you know, just strategize behind your breeding. That's it, man. If you strategize and you try to hit animals that, you know, are one in 1,000, those animals are going to sell themselves for sure.
Yep. Yeah, man.
For
That's
sure.
that's what I'm right now. I'm just like, I'm just trying to. I've got building blocks for what looks good for me.
Absolutely, man.
You know.
You got to build, you know.
Um,
You got to get to that point, you know. At the first couple of years, it's
and
going to
I
be
think if I
keeping.
like it, someone else will buy it. You know.
Yep. I mean, the first
That's
couple
what
of
I'm.
years, it's all about building blocks, right? It's building your projects, holding back the best animals, and being patient. And once you get those animals up to size, then it's just about strategizing. And once you got those animals up to size, man, you just put the right stuff together and make animals that people aren't making, and
Yeah.
dude, people will buy them.
That's why I kind of diversified in my collection too. I think I got like 9 or 10 different species I'm working with, and because when man, I went to Pomona at June, and yeah, I saw a lot of ball python tables, bro, and it gets a little overwhelming sometimes, man. Like, um, yeah, dude, just a lot of ball pythons, a lot of pastel, and I just like, I kind of step back sometimes, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like, who's gonna buy all these animals? Like,
Yeah, well, there's
it's
people.
just like,
Yeah, there's. I mean, eventually, all those animals do find homes.
yeah,
But like I said, man, you know, like if you're doing this, and as long as you're breeding to make, like I said, right, just those unique animals, dude, they're going to sell, Adrian. Like
yeah, bro,
it's
yeah,
it's just it's just it. And dude, when I tell you they're gonna sell, it's literally people are gonna be lined up to buy those animals.
yeah, man.
But yeah, but if you're just not
It's
strategizing, you're just breeding just to breed, just to have clutches, that's when
yeah,
you're gonna run in, you're gonna have a harder time selling those animals. You might have to wholesale, you might have to do whatever it takes to get rid of those animals. But dude, at the end of the day, unique animals are gonna sell themselves for
yeah,
sure.
for sure, man, for sure.
Yeah,
One day I'll get there, bro. One day we'll be there. Hopefully, I got some fire dropping soon, man, and
yeah. It just takes
um,
time, bro. That's it.
yeah, yeah, it
That's it.
gets a little overwhelming sometimes. Just like thinking like how many ball pythons are on Morph Market and shit. It's like,
Yeah, but all
fuck,
you got to
dude.
do is look at it like how many you can filter out what's under $1,000,
Yeah,
and then you
not
can filter out what has been made in this project or what's
yeah,
unique, what's here, what's in this project, and you filter those animals out. You're like, holy
yeah,
shit! Like only 800 have been
no,
made in the last 10 years. You're like, okay,
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, you look up like a lace, a lace. There's only like 50 lace on Morph Market or some shit like that. But what I'm
bro,
trying to
that's
say is like
anything,
not,
Adrian. Ultramel clowns. Let's say ultramel clowns.
yeah,
Okay, if you like
yeah,
ultramel, we've only seen about 4 or 5 different ultra male clown combos been hit. That's it.
Yeah.
How, once you start taking all these other stack combos and put them in ultra male, bro, like like shit like that, man. That's the shit that's gonna sell. Exantic
Yeah.
clown. We've seen what 3 or 4 different spot nose
Yeah.
exantic clowns, pastel exantic clowns.
Yeah.
And bro, besides that,
I'm
what have
glad
you
you brought that up, bro. I'm really into Xanthic. Obviously, we're all into Xanthic right now. And I was into it. I saw some nice stuff at a show a couple times, nice black and white animals. And that's when it caught my eye. And then especially after all the Justin stuff. Um, but yeah, man, do you have any Xanthic in your
Oh yeah,
collection?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're
good.
going.
It's
Yeah,
good,
we're
man.
we're building, and we got some nice animals in that project, and yeah, man, we're gonna be making some good animals in
Yeah.
those projects. So
That's like my Black Pewter Hurricane kind of gives me that Xanthic feel,
mhm.
and I'm pretty stoked on that. She's a really nice Black Pewter. Um, but yeah, if I were to get into a recessive right now, it would probably be some Xanthic stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And
and I
like,
got
what line of Xanthic you got VPI?
yeah, and I'm working. So I'm going I got DG Xanthic stuff and I got Trugo stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
working both projects because at the end of the day, both those projects, so you
yeah,
know,
for sure, man.
they'll you know fit perfectly, with each other. So
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Shout out
Just
to Big E Top G, man. He's a True Ghost fan, and I think he wants you on the show soon.
Emilio,
So, yeah, Big Emilio, dude, was a
yep,
homie, bro.
the homeboy.
He's a
For
G.
sure. Yep. Yeah, man. So it's just about being strategic, bro. You can't. It can get like you said, right? It can get overwhelming, but if you're focused, stay focused, man, and you'll do great.
What up,
A
Chills? My
lot of
homie Chills tapping in, dude. Shout out to the homie you chilling. Dude's a
lot of
good
work,
dude, bro.
a lot of work to be done still, AJ. A
Yeah.
lot of work, man.
And where I'm coming from with the 20,000 ball pythons thing, it's not like competition wise. It's just like, damn, that's a lot of like living animals, bro. Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
like,
it
and you
is.
hear about all this maintenance feeding shit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm feeding I need bigger racks. I need bigger tubs now. My females are growing up. I'm running out of space. Like, yeah, 20,000 animals or whatever. That's a lot of
Well, that's
of
also
animals, bro.
if you put. I
It's
mean,
like,
you got to put into effect that during COVID, you know how many people flooded the market,
yeah,
right? They came into the market because they thought, we're gonna buy this and buy this and buy that and just put it together, and we'll probably get rich the following year. But that's not what happened. So all those people
yeah,
that did come in and just bought whatever just to breed, those are the people that you're seeing all those ball pythons 20,000, 30,000. It's all those people that got in 3 or 4 years ago that are starting to produce now. Look at what we got. It's just a lot of ball
yeah, man.
pythons out there that can't find good homes for
It's
because
yeah, bro. It's
it's just
almost like they need the freezer, bro, or
it's
make them
because
cribbo food.
those are people with no strategy behind their breeding, man.
Yeah,
There's no
I hate
strategy,
to say it. It's
no
it's even
strategy.
tough, like thinking of if I produce something that's like a lower end animal, and then having to like, I don't know. It's just a whole fucking rabbit hole, dude. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
mind-boggling with the ball
all I
python
can say.
sometimes, dude.
Yeah, all I
Yeah,
can say is to anybody out there: stay focused. If you love Exantic Clown, work the shit out that Exantic Clown project. Put different codons, and you're gonna fucking kill it. If
yeah,
you love the Ultramel Clown, work the Ultramel Clown. You will kill it because we've only seen 4 or 5 different combos from each of those projects. A
yeah,
lot of
man.
people are chasing the triples, the quads, but if you just say you focus on Exantic Clown, Ultramel Clown, and just put different combos together, bro, people are gonna be lining up to buy that shit from you,
Yeah,
including me. So
yeah.
yeah,
Everyone go. If you guys are on Kick.com, man, go follow the homie You Chillin on Kick. He has great content. Shout out to You Chillin, bro. I'm gonna tap into the stream later. You ever like watch streaming on Kick or anything?
No, I'm never, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. But
You
yeah,
be what kind of music you be listening to, bro?
I try to listen to a little bit of everything, man. Hip
Yeah,
hop, Mexican music. I
yeah,
love my corridos,
yeah.
So just a little bit of everything, man. Whatever's on. My kids usually are the ones that were in the car. They're the ones in charge of the music. So
Yeah,
whatever they're.
yeah. I
I don't.
listen to a lot of stuff. I've
Yeah.
been super into like the old school Bay Area rap, like
Okay.
Mac Dre
Dre,
and
Easy E,
the
Q.
the
Okay.
Louis Crew, the Romper Room, and all that shit.
Yeah.
The homie you chillin' says what's up to you, Juanito.
What's up, my brother?
What's up? Good dude, bro. But yeah, appreciate your time tonight. If you got anything else you want to add, any promo you want to give yourself, dog. It's been a great show so far.
Yeah, no, man. We're just chopping away. Just stay tuned for what we got. Coming this season. We got some really nice animals. Being produced this year.
Homie
So
Pat Wheezy
what's up,
in the building,
Patricio?
man.
That's Patricio right there.
Yeah,
So
Patricio.
Patricio, So just yeah, man. We got some nice stuff coming out this year. Like I said, we're only 5 clutches in, so still got a
Yeah.
lot of babies to hatch here coming up. So stay
Any
tuned.
other like gems? Any other gems you could drop, bro? Like getting females up to size or
Feed
you
those
know,
girls, man.
any
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Feed your animals. For I think for the
What
first
size prey item? Are you feeding bigger size prey?
no smaller size more often.
You got
That's the key.
ASFs or
ASFs, yep. So what you want to do
what?
is the way I do it is feed smaller but more often. Because if you're trying to stuff your girls with medium reds, that's I think that's your girls are gonna go off food. Eventually, you're gonna have those girls that aren't gonna want any more. So what I do is I stick to about 45, 50 gram, rodents, and I try to feed as often as I can. So every 3, 4 days. So minimum twice a week is what I'm feeding my girls. Twice a week. If they want to eat 3 times a week, I'll feed them 3 times because I'm feeding smaller but more often, and they're
Yeah,
just taking more of that in, right?
yeah.
Less poops. I mean, more urates and
So how big are the ASFs again? I'm sorry, bro.
45 to 50 gram between that size for
Yeah,
my adults, and that's as big as they get. Some of my girls will get the retired once I retire a colony. They'll get the
yeah,
retired breeders, but those are the big girls, right? Those are the girls that
yeah,
are
yeah,
coming off of laying a clutch. Those are the girls that are getting
yeah,
those retired breeders. So
yeah. I got some colonies to retire pretty soon.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, for the most part, man, like I said, 45 to 50 gram is what I'm feeding my big girls, and 2 to 3 times a week, man. And I'm getting my girls up to from the time they're hatched in like 13, 14 months, they're about 1,800, 2,000 grams, dude. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
definitely feed your girls, man. Because for the first 2 years, I was listening to a lot of people and feeding them once every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
big rats, medium rats. It just that wasn't the way to do it, man. Once I
yeah,
started, yeah, once I started feeding smaller and more frequent is when I just started taking off from there.
yeah. Just give me a second right here. So you're only breeding one type of rodent?
I breed ASFs. Breed
Okay.
all ASFs, man. Yep. Breed ASFs, bring in rats and mice to for babies for stuff that's been sold off. But unless somebody tells me they want their animals on ASFs, then I'll feed them ASFs. But if not, then I'll bring in mice and rats to supplement for anything being sold.
I'm glad you brought that up too because I've been noticing the opposite, bro. Like they'll get stuck on rats and mice, but they won't touch an ASF.
I don't know what it is, man. I think a picky eater is always going to be a picky eater, bro. No matter if it's on rats, mice, or ASFs. A good eater is going to eat whatever prey out on me offer that animal. Because I can come in my in my room and offer one of my girls a rat when she's been eating none but ASS for the last year, and they'll take it right off, right? I could offer
Yeah.
a mice, and they'll take it right up. But a picky eater is only going to eat one or the other, and sometimes they won't even want anything, you know? So it just depends, man.
Yeah. Appreciate you tapping in, Pat. Kind of near the end of the episode. You might want to rewatch this one. Was a banger with the homie. I don't know how you feeling, Juan. You feeling like you're tapping out, or are
I'm
you
feeling
chilling?
good, bro. I'm chilling. Yeah,
Chilling.
chilling, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
The homie Patricio
Just
tapped in
switched
too
up.
late.
Was able to get my PC on right here. Gotta mute the homie stream in the background.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, man.
yeah,
You
man,
know,
I got a so I got this diamond python from Buddy Buscemi. I got a pair of 1.1 diamond pythons, pure diamonds,
okay.
and he actually has some on Morph Market right now. If anyone's looking to get into some pure diamond pythons, Buddy just posted some, I believe, from one of the same clutches that I got on Morph Market.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the female, and she switched over to desert field mice right away. She's just smashing desert field mice.
There you
And
go.
the male will not take a desert field mouse, bro. I
You
literally
want?
have to go. I have to go to the pet store and buy him a rat pinky. And he'll
Mm,
take that right away. Like I don't know. Like I'm presenting it the same exact way. I just drop it in there, let it crawl around, and he'd strike.
it's
But
just
the
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I've heard of that
yeah, bro.
before. I've heard people say that
And
they'll refuse ASFs and only want rats or mice. But
yeah,
well,
I've
pythons are weird in general, man. You know. Oh, we lost the host. I think we're frozen. It's me. Or it's Adrian.
my bad, bro. My bad. Trying to switch it up right here. But I've had a lot of animals do that I get in. They'll like refuse the desert field mouse.
Right.
But like after two or three rats, then they'll switch over. But dude, this one it's been like 5 or 6 meals now, man. He hasn't switched over yet, dude. And I'm
No.
like, fucking, because the female's already like twice his size because
Well,
she's smashing the.
here's the thing, Adrian. What I say to that is just feed it what it wants, man. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people that say, oh, well, you know, to their females that don't want rats, only want ASFs, or don't want ASFs, only want mice, or vice versa, right? I've heard people say, well, if they don't eat, they're not going to eat then. Well, then you're never going to get any production out of her, right? You got to feed them what they want.
yeah,
At the end of the day, just feed them what
yeah,
they want. If they want rats, feed them rats. If they want mice, feed them mice. If they want ASS, feed them ASS, man.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, if we don't feed them what they want, we're never going to get production out of them, right? So
yeah.
unless you want a pet just sitting there, then that's cool,
No,
man. You know,
no, it's
these
just
girls
like
gotta pet around.
I only breed like one certain type of rodent, so it's like,
Yeah.
I want like ideally it would switch, and I think that rodent is the superior prey item.
You know what's
You know,
you know what what did you say superior? Rat?
no, no, a
SF.
desert field mouse.
Yeah, SF, absolutely. So
Yeah,
so here's the thing, right? When you're only breeding one type of rodent, or you only can get only, you know, from your breeder, your local breeder, only one type of rodent, that sucks, man. Because I bought literally somebody in Cali. I think you know him. I bought a lace yellow belly clown, 1,600 gram female from him because he's had her for 2 years and he couldn't get a clutch out of her because all she wanted was ASFs, and it was hard for him to find ASFs. He'd have to drive like 2 hours away or something. So he's like, you know what, man? He's like, I'm selling her. And guess
yeah,
what? I bought her this year back in the spring. I think in April I got her. Dude, she's like 28 millimeter follicles. Gonna be laying a
Yeah,
clutch pretty soon.
that's dope, bro.
So
That's dope, man.
you just gotta be willing to feed them what they want, man. And if you can't get it, it's
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have to breed, that rodent. I know it
Yeah,
sucks.
I'm almost thinking about starting a colony of Norwegians again.
Yeah, and I
'Cause,
mean it's just for a couple animals, right? So you don't have to go all out, Even if you
yeah,
those grow fast, so you can feed off what grows up or freeze it or whatever you got to
yeah,
do. You have some backups for that girl.
yeah. I was almost thinking of getting some variety back in and maybe
Or,
starting up a Norwegian.
yeah, and if it's only a couple girls or one or two of your females, maybe buy some frozen, and just thaw them out and feed her,
Yeah.
frozen thawed.
Everything's on it. My whole collection's on it except for one fucking diamond python, dude.
There
It's
you
so
go.
frustrating, bro.
There you go.
So frustrating, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think they get stuck on rats and mice over ASF because rats and mice are like they have such a distinct smell. Like they're so much more smelly,
More smelly. Yeah.
and that's what the snakes love. I don't see how they could get hooked on the desert field mice because I don't know. I just don't see it. But,
Yeah. It just I've seen it. I've seen it happen. But
yeah,
like I said, man, at the end of the day, we got to feed them what they want, dude. Because if we don't, then we're just gonna have a pretty pet there just sitting there, right, without paying rent.
yeah,
So
yeah, for sure,
yeah,
man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. And so your rodent operation, you're breeding your own rodents?
yeah, been doing it for 2 years now. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you can ask Pat, man. We were just, he started doing it before me. I think he had a full year in before me, and it's just out here in Chicago where we're at, man. It's just hard to find a rat breeder, consistent, rat breeder. Me and him were going to the same guy, and the fucking guy was just so inconsistent, man. One week
Yeah,
he had half your order, the following week he'd have your whole order, but all the sizes would be messed up. You'd ask for small, he'd give you mediums. You'd ask for rat pups, he'd
yeah,
give you weens. Like it just sucked, man. So I pretty much said to myself, either I'm gonna, where I'm going, either I gotta breed my own rodents or I might as well get out. It's got to be
yeah,
one or the other because also as you're growing, man, you know the amount of rodents you need to imagine if I had to go out and buy if I'm having 45 clutches this year, right? That's 300 babies. So imagine having to go out and buy 300 rat pups every week.
yeah.
That adds up,
No.
man.
Oh yeah, I
Rats
couldn't
are all
afford to
your
do this if I didn't breed my own rodents. I couldn't even afford to have all the animals that I have.
exactly. So I said to myself, either I got to breed my rodents or get the hell out,
Yeah.
right? So which one is it? So I had to start breeding my own rodents. So.
So do you have like DIY concrete tub racks, or you got freedom breeder racks or
I have
something?
Freedom Breeder. Yep, Freedom Breeder
Yeah.
tubs. All
Yeah,
Freedom Breeder tubs,
those are
man.
cool.
Yeah, for sure. I got a call. I got one Freedom Breeder rack, and the other I built myself. Yep, out of PVC. And
Okay.
those are perfectly fine, man. Never had
I
a
like
chew out. Never
yeah,
had.
I like the concrete tubs because they're like so big. You could keep like a big colony in there.
Yeah,
I really got it down.
I do 2.10s in FB
Yeah.
20s. Yep, and then I
Yeah,
do
bro.
FB 90s for all my growouts.
Yeah.
For my adults. Yep, which are
Yeah, I
huge.
run 2.10s also.
Yep,
It's a good ratio.
that's where I found it to be the most productive 2.10s, man. That's where I'm getting my most production out of those colonies.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll even do 3.10 just to make sure like a couple of the males make it because sometimes but I have I haven't experienced a lot of fighting recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've been line breeding for like better traits, and I feel like the lighter color ones have like better traits. Like the darker ones are like really mean, and they escape and chew out and shit, and
I
they're
mean,
like
yeah,
vicious.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, for the most, I have whites, I have black-eared ones, I have spotty ones, and they
Yeah,
all do good. What I'm trying to
uh,
do is get like all snows, right? So I'm trying to
yeah,
Get all those called black ones and get them all out and just stick to all
Yeah.
snow. That's it.
Yeah, yes. I want all snow. That's it.
Yeah.
Um, I
And
even like put all the when I created a new colony, I put all the melanistic ones together, and it's crazy because all they produce is melanistic. You know, it's like you could really line breed them if you wanted to, but
oh yeah, man.
I'm I make sure to feed those off right away,
Yeah.
and I don't hold any of those back anymore. A good way to line breed them is just when you go to like start a new colony, just don't get any of the ones you don't want. Just get
So
all the
you know
ones
what
that
I
you
do?
want.
You know what I do? So I pick out babies to hold back for my next colony. So if I have a female that's giving me 20 plus babies every litter she
Yeah,
drops, those are the babies I want to hold back to to make my next
yeah,
colonies in 6 months, right?
yeah,
So all those girls that are giving you 20 plus babies every single litter they drop for the 6 months that they're colonized, those are all the babies I'm holding back
yeah,
to get ready for the next. And dude, it's been
yeah,
crazy because all those same females I'm holding back, those are all the girls that are
yeah,
giving me 20 plus consistent litters every
yeah,
time
bro.
they drop a litter, man.
Yeah, no, that's how it is for me too, man. It's I think about the numbers. I'm like, man, I'm probably producing like fuck, like 500 rodents a month or something crazy like that, bro.
Yeah,
Like
it's a lot, man. They produce
nuts,
a
dude.
shitload. And you know what? Here's another gem that I'll give you guys. Um, when you're doing ASS, a lot of people tend to shy away from it because they're like, "Oh, it takes too long for them to get up to size," right? So like I told you, I stick to 45, 50 gram range for all my adults. Okay,
Yeah,
and the way I do it, and a lot of people do it completely opposite. So I'll only hold enough females back for my new colonies. Okay. So I always hold back enough girls, just enough to fucking be able to replenish my colonies every 6 months. Other than that, all the females are getting fed off to my hatchlings. Those are the ones I'm feeding my hatchlings because the girls, dude, are the ones that take 5, 6 times longer to get up to size than males. So all the males I'm holding back to get them up to size for adults, right? For my adults,
yeah,
and the females I'm only holding back enough for my new colonies, and the rest I'm feeding off to my hatchlings or my grubs.
yeah,
And the males I'm holding back for my adults because I
yeah,
can get a male to 45, 50 grams in 3 weeks. A female, it's
yeah.
going to take you 2 months to get her up to that size, right?
Okay.
And a lot of people
Yeah,
were doing it the other way around, man. They were holding back all
yeah,
the females and feeding their hatchlings the males. But then they were
yeah,
like, "Well, we can't get them up to size. It takes 2 months, 3 months." Yeah, because
yeah,
you're doing it the wrong way. You hold the males back to give to your adults
yeah,
because those get up to size in 3 to 4 weeks. Boom, they're there. And there's
yeah,
so many of them, man. You could just you never run out.
yeah,
And I don't have a lot
yeah.
of colonies, bro. And it's just crazy.
Do you have a Kalmbach? You use Kalmbach
I
or?
use combat. Yep, twenty three
Yeah,
percent
me too.
combat. And then I
Yeah,
use I give them once a week cracked corn, sunflowers, black sunflower seeds, and whole oats. That's it.
yeah,
Just those 3 items, and then I just give them one scoop a week in their tub, and then the rodent black they get that on in their hopper
yeah.
all day,
I
all day.
do the dried black soldier fly larvae. They really like that too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if Kate. I don't know if I heard that somewhere else, but yeah, the black soldier fly larvae. That's what I've been. They're cheaper than the mealworms and more nutritious.
I don't supplement with that. I just supplement
Yeah,
them with black sunflower seeds, whole oats,
yeah,
and cracked corn, bro. That's all they need. They don't need more than that. All that larvae and mealworms, that's
yeah,
just shit they don't even need to buy to give them. You don't even need that.
yeah,
Cracked corn,
yeah. I like the
sunflower seeds,
oats.
whole oats. That's all you need.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get some corn and oats. I don't use those yet,
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure.
yeah, man, for sure, bro. Well, guess
Absolutely,
we
dude.
could. It's been a great show, Juan. Man, it's been a banger, bro. Can't wait to rewatch this one.
Appreciate you for having me on,
Hope
man.
everyone appreciate your time, bro. I know it's getting late over there, so we could call it pretty soon right here.
Yeah.
And if you want to hang out backstage for a second, we could say peace out, and I'll say peace out to the crew, man. Thanks for coming on, Juan.
So thanks to everybody that tapped in tonight. Y'all have a good night.
Hey everyone, West Coast Wednesdays, episode number 9 in the books. Thank you guys, everyone who joined, bro. Really appreciate all the love in the chats. Really seeing all the familiar faces in the chats, man. I'm sure Juan appreciates it a lot too. Thank you guys so much for tapping in West Coast Wednesdays. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace out.